Well, it looks like the title and the ending of that were clipped, and so we're guessing the title was Work of Weather and Stream. Obviously, it's a film about erosion. It was silent. It was from the Brothers collection, which was from the Oregon Archive, which we scanned a couple of years ago. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in to the AV Geeks 16mm lunch streaming show, where we watch old 16mm films and try to judge how it affects our lives in one way or the other. This next film, I did this on a scanner where we had to capture the soundtrack to extract it. And so this one has a little bit of a sound to it. But let's learn about beginning tumbling. Enjoy.
These are enjoyable and easily mastered. For both improvement and safety, the simple stunts must be learned before trying the more spectacular ones. The following are elementary stunts. The sideward roll is not difficult to learn. In order to do the sideward roll, place one hand and foot on the same side on the mat. Then raise the other hand and fall to the supported side. In the three-man sideward roll, stand about 2 feet apart. The middleman starts by doing a sideward roll to his own left side. The outside men alternately spring to the center, over the rolling middleman, and then roll. It is necessary to keep feet straightened out, rise quickly, and be ready to spring. The forward roll, sometimes called the front roll, is a fundamental tumbling stunt and should be learned early. To assure sufficient room for group work, tumblers may roll across the mat rather than lengthwise. Squat and place hands shoulder width apart, fingers to the front. Tuck your head to your chest and push with toes to go into the roll. When you feel the weight on the upper part of your back, reach for your ankles, then pull yourself to your feet. Make a tight ball of your body. After you learn this, you can do a series down the length of the mat. After mastering the plain forward roll, try a forward roll done from a dive. Run, take off with both feet, and then go into the roll. A spotter or safety man can help you to do this stunt safely by ducking your head with a push on the back of the neck. After learning the plain dive roll, diving over kneeling boys adds fun to the stunt. The backward roll is a basis for several other stunts. The tumbler starts with a rocking motion, his hands by his ears. The buttocks, the back, and then the head strike the mat. Remain in a ball throughout the roll. The knees do not touch the mat. Shove with the hands to come to a stand. This can be done in a series of backward rolls if each shove of the hands is used to start the next roll. To combine the forward and backward rolls, cross the ankles, turning in the direction the foot has crossed. Then go into the backward roll. The forward double roll is more complicated than the previous stunts, but isn't too difficult, and will be fun once you've learned it. Hold firmly to your double roll is done from the same starting position as the forward double roll, but with the top standers back toward the mat. To start the standing of the balancing of the body weight in an inverted position. Average arm strength, an arched back, and proper use of the head is needed. A spotter can be used to aid in learning the tip-up. Begin by place hands shoulder width apart. Place the top of the forehead on the mat as far from the hands as the hands are from each other. The hands and head form a broad triangular base. Use spotters for beginners. If you overbalance, tuck into a forward roll. Otherwise, come down by bending at the hips. The headstand may also be done from the tip-up position. In the forearm and headstand, the elbows are separated by the forearm's length. The top of the forehead is placed in the palms. If you overbalance, do a forward roll as in the headstand. To master the handstand, you must practice often, either alone or with a spotter. Step forward with either foot and place both hands in front. Keep the hands shoulder width apart. Hold the head up. Lean forward so that the shoulders will be in front of the hands. The spotter holds the legs until you can balance yourself. If you kick up too hard, turn off to the side. To execute a hand walk, overbalance forward and to the side of the supporting arm. Take up the balance by stepping with the hands. When you have learned this backward roll to handstand, you can combine it in a series and with other stunts for variety. Place the hands as for the straight backward roll. A backward snap of the head, the hip snap, and the arm push are done at the same time. The spotter can aid by lifting the legs until the proper snap is learned. The cartwheel may be done to either side. Sway to the right and vigorously throw the right hand to the mat, kicking the feet straight over the head. The left hand follows to the mat. The rolling motion carries the feet to the mat in a straight line with the previous hand positions. The round-off is a variation of the cartwheel. Begin as in a cartwheel, but add a quarter turn when in midair. The mule kick gives practice in the snap down. When coming down, bend at the hips and push away from the mat by vigorously extending the arms. For variety, several other stunts may be combined with the round-off. You can do a round-off and then a backward roll, or a backward roll to a handstand. The start of the cartwheel flip is the same as for the cartwheel, except that more speed is needed. As you come to a momentary handstand, bring your feet together, turn your head, shoulders, and hips through a half turn to the left. A vigorous push with the right hand brings success. This stunt may be combined with the forward roll. Take up stunts.
Yeah, so let me bring this up again, but I'll stop it. All right, so if you look to the right of the image, that is the optical soundtrack, which is printed on the film. And this allows for easy distribution of film because you're printing both the visual part, which is on the left, and the optical part, which is on the right. and you have a little sound head that is a little, I can't remember what it's basically a light sensor. Then on the other side of the film, you have a little light, and as the light shines through, the light sensor adjusts its voltage, and that's how sound is created. I think it's based on the Western Electric patent, which everybody eventually adopted. But there's lots of variations on this. Now, what's interesting is if you look to the left of the optical soundtrack, you see a little bit of the perfs, double perfed film. It's shot, when they shoot it without sound, and then they add audio later. So there you go. The other thing is that I don't know if you noticed, there'd be times where there was talking, but all the lines were straight, which would be silent. And that's because the optical soundtrack is 26 frames offset from the visuals. And that's to accommodate the fact that you have your visual gate here, and then it goes through a bunch of rollers, and then there's the optical gate. So you want to have that delay to accommodate the fact that the sound is not read at the same time that it's being projected. Does that make sense? Anyways, yeah, you could hear a lot of grrr, and that's because when the film was scanned, it was a little bit off center, or it was a little rotated, and so when it tries to read, the software tries to read the soundtrack, it kind of gets that thumpy sound, which I can probably EQ out. Speaking of which, the scanner behind me is a Sintel Blackmagic scanner, and it has its own optical sound head, so it automatically reads the sound. And let me change the title of this. This next film we're going to see is To See or Not to See. And I thought it was a film about vision or eye safety or whatever, but it's not. So enjoy.
How should we look at the world? Realistically or not?
Well, these days, it's the accepted practice to look at the world realistically. If we examine how this affects the development of an average soul, we see that during childhood, reality is used as a source of inspiration for all sorts of fantasies and no respect for real value. Use. Puberty brings long pants, but no change in the psyche. It remains frivolous. in the early adult stage. Still no change. Now, here is how an average mature individual finally copes with reality. Well, that's the way it goes. Thus, more and more people require professional help. So, as realism is a modern philosophy, neurosis is a modern disease.
We not look at the world as it really is?
I recommend my special glasses. Judiciously used, they can improve the picture. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Now what? The right delusion will give you confidence. Note his reaction.